The need for youth centres like the Zone in Leeds has never been greater. They provide young people with a safe place to relax, talk and play. West Yorkshire has the highest rate of knife crime after London, and young people are in need of more centres like this to keep them off the streets and educate them about the dangers of knife crime. West Yorkshire Police were given an extra £4 million worth of funding in April to tackle the problem, after there had been a 125% increase in arrests for knife possession in Yorkshire in 4 years. 1/5 of those arrests are of people between the ages of 10 and 17, a number that has been rising every year.
In Leeds, we're having a real push to try and get kids more involved in after-school activities, coming to areas like the Zone, coming to places like Catch and other youth engagement activities, because kids are vulnerable. The most dangerous time for kids is in the holidays, especially when they've got a lot of time on their hands and they've not got there for people to look after them. So these places are absolutely critical to our communities. I think the most important thing is to talk about stuff. If people just talked about the problems they had, if people talked about the stresses they had, if people talked about the worries that they carried with them, then the problems get shared and halved and people will come up with other solutions. It's when people internalise and worry about things and don't share, it's at that point we often see the most dramatic situations arise and young people making some really bad decisions, especially around carrying knives.
Yeah, surprising that people as young as 10 are involved in knife crime.
You can live in the nicest area and knife crime can still be there.
I've heard some stories about people around here and people that I know that are being affected by knife crime. So yeah, I was definitely aware of it.
We work with everybody from ex-gang members to the police and everybody in between, and it's proved a really good place for young people to learn and to become wiser, cleverer and safer. So I think it's essential. There's been muggings, there's been young people have been surrounded by gangs of people who have pretended to have knives and they've intimidated them and they've gone to draw a knife out of the pocket. They actually haven't had a knife. But young people are a bit scared. They don't like to admit they are, but they are a little bit nervous and they do need a bit of a hand and they do need some information and education. In LS17 we have people who are on the really lower end of the socio-economic scale and the higher end, but knife crime affects all, and actually those who have got maybe a little bit more disposable cash and they can be a target as well. So I think it's a real shame that people are divided into postcodes when it comes to eligibility for funding, and they need to rethink.
For these young people and thousands more across Yorkshire, youth centres like the Zone could be the key to keeping them off the streets and away from the problems of knife crime.